Yo, what is up, YouTube? Today's video, we're going to be watching 1 hour. Okay, we're not actually watching an hour, but we're watching the worst deaths in human history. Now, take a guess. What do you think is the worst death ever? I think, I'll give you 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, guess. I think, our time's up. I think it is being burnt alive. Yeah, burnt alive. Probably drowning is like, I don't know, people have like drowned before. But then we have eaten alive by like rats or something. Yeah, that's got to be up there, but let's see what this video has for us. Let's make sure our audio is capturing. Okay. Let's go.
Superman Tower of Power incident. On June 21st, 2007, 13-year-old Caitlin Lassiter arrived at Six Flags Kentucky Kingdom with her family for what should have been a perfect summer day. The Louisville amusement park was bustling with visitors eager to escape the heat on the various rides and attractions. Caitlin, an active middle school student from nearby Elizabethtown, had been looking forward to this trip for weeks. She was particularly excited about the Superman Tower of Power, the park's signature thrill ride.
Bro, I cannot. Bro, okay, this is fucking why I cannot do roller coasters, bro. I just can't. I hate to be like I hate to be such a liberal sometimes, but I can't do roller coasters. I don't know why. It's just like a metal, I don't know, man. It's just so sketch.
That dominated the skyline at 177 feet tall. The Superman Tower of Power was considered one of the most popular attractions.
Dude, especially the drop towers. No, bro, no. You will never catch me doing a drop tower.
At Kentucky Kingdom. The ride worked by seating passengers in a circular gondola with their feet dangling freely beneath them. A sophisticated cable and pulley system would lift riders to the top of the tower, pause for a moment to build suspense, then release them into a controlled free fall back toward the ground. The sensation of weightlessness combined with the panoramic view of Louisville made it a must-ride attraction for thrill seekers. Safety harnesses secured riders around their torso and shoulders, while their legs hung unrestrained below the seats. Caitlin joined the line with her family members, watching as previous groups of riders screamed with delight during their descent. The ride operators went through their routine safety checks, ensuring all harnesses were properly secured before initiating the lifting sequence. Everything appeared normal as Caitlin's group was loaded into the gondola seats. The massive tower stretched high above them, and she could feel the anticipation building as the ride began its slow ascent. At approximately 40 feet above the ground, something went catastrophically wrong. One of the main support cables suddenly snapped under tension.
This is what I'm talking about. Like, it's just shit can happen like this. How do people snap so damn loud? But anyways, you get the point. This can just happen at any moment. Like, you're on a fun roller coaster. Okay, anyways, if you're stupid enough to go on one of these rides, just do it. It's fine. Whatever. Just fucking do it. Just know you're risking your life doing this. You're paying to risk your life, by the way. Sorry. Just go on the roller coaster if you want.
Creating a whip-like effect as the severed cable lashed across the ride's gondola. The steel cable, moving at tremendous speed and force, struck multiple riders before they could react. In an instant, what had been a moment of anticipation turned into absolute horror. Caitlin bore the worst of the cable's impact. The severed steel wire struck her legs with such force that both feet were completely amputated above the ankles.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. Bro, imagine being one of the people next to her. You're just having a good old time on a roller coaster and you see a rope take some woman's leg off? What?
The other riders in the gondola screamed in terror as they witnessed the unthinkable accident unfold. Blood immediately began flowing from Caitlin's severe injuries while she remained conscious and aware of what had happened to her. The ride operators, seeing the emergency situation, immediately halted the lifting mechanism and began emergency descent procedures. Park security and medical personnel rushed to the scene as soon as the gondola returned to ground level. Caitlin remained remarkably calm despite her traumatic injuries, even asking about her severed feet. Emergency medical technicians quickly applied tourniquets and began life-saving treatment while preparing her for immediate transport to University Hospital. The other passengers, though physically unharmed, were deeply traumatized by witnessing such a horrific accident. The Superman Tower of Power was immediately shut down pending a full investigation. Caitlin survived her injuries but faced a lifetime of challenges adapting to her permanent disability. The accident led to industry-wide reviews of cable inspection procedures and ride safety protocols. Six Flags ultimately settled with the family for an undisclosed amount, while the ride was permanently removed from the park. The incident became a watershed moment for amusement park safety standards across the entire industry. Big Dipper roller coaster derailment incident. On May 30th, 1972, families across London flocked to Battersea Fun Fair to celebrate the holiday weekend. The popular amusement park located along the Thames had been a beloved destination for generations of Londoners seeking thrills and entertainment. Among the fair's most popular attractions was the Big Dipper, a classic wooden roller coaster that had been delighting visitors since 1951. The aging ride, with its traditional white-painted wooden structure and steep drops,
Okay, bro,
represented the golden
Bro, these wooden roller coasters, bro. Okay, they're less scary, but, like, they're wooden, bro. Like, who would ever think it's a good idea to make a wooden roller coaster going 60 miles per hour on like, some little Walmart carts? Like, unless it's built super good, I still wouldn't even go on.
age of British seaside entertainment. The Big Dipper stood as a testament to post-war optimism, built when the country was recovering and families were eager for simple pleasures. The coaster featured a series of hills and curves, typical of wooden coasters from that era, reaching speeds of approximately 35 miles per hour. Its cars could hold up to 20 passengers at a time, and on busy days like this holiday weekend, the ride operated continuously, with minimal downtime between cycles. The wooden track, supported by an intricate framework of timber beams and cross braces, had weathered more than 2 decades of London's harsh climate. Among the holiday crowd were several families with children.
Okay, here's another thing about roller coasters. I think, like, they need to get a check. I don't even know, they might do this, but they need to have some sort of maintenance to them. Like, this might be stupid, but, like, I think after a certain amount of time of having these roller coasters, they need to, like, go get some people, pay them real quick, go check on, like, all the bolts are good, all, like, the metal beams are, like, intact, and none are, like, completely in half. Like, I don't know. I think it's a good idea.
Including groups of teenagers who had come to the fair specifically for the thrill rides. The Big Dipper's line stretched long on this busy afternoon, with excited riders waiting their turn to experience the classic coaster. Many of these visitors had ridden the Big Dipper countless times over the years, trusting in its familiar rhythms and well-worn safety record. The ride operators, following their standard procedures, loaded passengers into the train cars and secured the simple lap bars that served as the primary restraint system. As the fully loaded train climbed the first major hill, building potential energy for the exciting descent ahead, passengers could see across the Thames and the London skyline beyond. The mechanical chain lift carried them steadily upward with its characteristic clicking sound. Everything seemed perfectly normal as the train crested the first hill and began picking up speed on the downward slope. The familiar sensations of acceleration and mild airtime brought squeals of delight from the passengers. Then, as the train approached a banked curve at high speed, catastrophic structural failure occurred. A critical section of the wooden track structure collapsed without warning, unable to support the dynamic forces of the speeding train. The lead cars immediately derailed, leaving the track entirely and plummeting toward the ground below. Passengers were thrown from their seats as the cars tumbled and crashed into the support structure beneath the track. The wooden framework, never designed to catch falling train cars, splintered and collapsed under the impact. 5 people died instantly from the devastating crash, while 13 others sustained serious injuries ranging from broken bones.
Imagine, bro, being alive after that. You're just like, your family wants to go to an amusement park again. Bro, no, bro, no, bro, no.
To severe trauma. The screams of the injured and terrified witnesses.
Little Timmy wants to go on a roller coaster, bro. No, bro. No, bro.
Filled the air as park staff and visitors rushed to help. Emergency services arrived quickly, but the tangled wreckage of wooden beams, twisted metal, and overturned train cars made rescue efforts extremely difficult. Some victims remained trapped beneath the debris for hours, while rescue workers carefully dismantled the collapsed structure. The investigation that followed revealed that structural fatigue and inadequate maintenance had compromised the ride's safety. The wooden support...
Yeah, like, right here, this is where we need some sort of, like, maintenance or something. Like, what the we can't just be riding like this.
Beams had deteriorated over the years, weakened by weather exposure and the
That's no one's fault except for the people who are in charge of the roller coasters, obviously.
Constant stress of train operations. Following this tragedy, the Big Dipper was permanently removed and Battersea Fun Fair never reopened. The incident led to comprehensive safety reforms throughout the British amusement industry, establishing new standards for ride inspection and maintenance that continue to protect visitors today. Verrückt Waterslide Death Incident. On August 7, 2016, 10-year-old Caleb Schwartz inspection and maintenance that continue to protect visitors today. Verrückt Waterslide Death Incident. On August 7, 2016, 10-year-old Caleb Schwab arrived at Schlitterbahn Water Park in Kansas City with his family for what should have been a fun-filled summer day. Caleb was the son of Scott Schwab, a Kansas state legislator, and like many children his age, he was drawn to the park's most famous attraction. Towering above the water park, at 168 feet and 7 inches tall, stood Verrückt, officially recognized as the world's tallest water slide. The German word verrückt means insane, a name that proved to be tragically prophetic. Verrückt had opened just 2 years earlier amid great fanfare and media attention.
Oh my god, that's a
the
water
massive slide
slide.
featured a...
Bro. That is a water slide. Who would ever think that's a good idea? That's like a... Oh, it says 168 feet. 168 feet in the air. You're going down... Okay, it's not even like a tubed one. You're literally just... It's a flat... Featured a unique raft. Oh, it's a raft.
Unique multi-person raft system where 3 riders would be secured together in a specially designed inflatable raft. The ride began with a steep 17-story drop, followed by a second hill that created a moment of weightlessness before the final descent into a splash pool. The slide's designers had incorporated overhead safety netting along portions of the ride to prevent rafts from becoming airborne, a safety feature that acknowledged the extreme forces generated by the attraction. The ride's operation depended on precise weight distribution among the 3 passengers. Safety guidelines specified that the combined weight of all riders should fall within a specific range to ensure the raft maintained proper contact with the slide surface throughout the journey. However, these weight requirements were often loosely enforced during busy periods, and park staff frequently allowed combinations of riders that fell outside the recommended parameters. On this particular day, the park was crowded with families enjoying the summer heat relief that the water attractions provided. Caleb was excited to experience the world record slide, despite being smaller than the typical rider. He was paired with 2 adult women in the 3-person raft, creating a weight distribution that was significantly below the recommended minimum. The raft was secured at the top of the 168-foot tower, with all 3 riders strapped in using Velcro and nylon restraints. Park attendants gave their standard safety briefing before releasing the raft down the steep initial drop. The raft accelerated rapidly down the first massive drop, reaching speeds approaching 70 miles per hour as it hit the bottom and began climbing the second hill. Due to the improper weight distribution, the raft carried too much momentum as it crested the second hill. Instead of following the slide's surface as designed, the raft became completely airborne for several feet. The lightweight raft, with insufficient weight to keep it grounded, flew upward toward the overhead safety netting that was meant to protect riders from exactly this scenario. Caleb, seated in the front of the raft, struck the metal supports of the overhead netting with devastating force. The impact caused fatal head and neck injuries, while the 2 adult...
Man, this is the workers' fault, bro. You can't do this. Bro, that's... Bro, imagine how the worker felt after this.
Passengers suffered serious but non-fatal injuries as the raft crashed back down onto the slide surface. Park staff immediately initiated emergency procedures, but Caleb's injuries were beyond any medical intervention. The other riders were rushed to nearby hospitals for treatment of their injuries. Verrückt was immediately and permanently closed following the accident. The subsequent investigation revealed a pattern of safety violations and design flaws that had been ignored since the ride's construction. Criminal charges were filed against several park executives and the ride's designer for reckless behavior and second-degree murder. Evidence emerged showing that engineers had repeatedly warned about safety issues during construction, but these concerns were dismissed in favor of meeting opening deadlines. The slide was completely demolished in 2018, and the incident led to comprehensive reforms in waterslide safety regulations nationwide. Haunted Castle Fire Incident. On May 11, 1984, Six Flags Great Adventure in New Jersey
always at Six Flags. Always at Six Flags.
Of its busiest spring evenings of the season. The warm weather had drawn large crowds to the popular theme park, with families and groups of teenagers eager to experience the various rides and attractions. Among the park's most popular draws was the Haunted Castle, a walk-through dark ride that promised visitors a terrifying journey through a maze-like structure filled with ghosts, monsters, and other frightening surprises. The attraction had become a must-visit destination for thrill seekers looking for a different kind of adrenaline rush. The Haunted Castle was housed in a large castle-themed building that had been constructed as a temporary structure but had remained in operation for several years. Inside, visitors would navigate through a series of narrow corridors, dark rooms, and tight passages while costumed actors and mechanical effects provided scares along the way. The building's interior was decorated with foam padding, fabric hangings, and various props designed to create an authentically spooky atmosphere. These decorative materials, while effective for creating the desired ambiance, were highly flammable and had never been treated with fire-resistant chemicals.
What are we thinking? A haunted cat. Okay, wait.
Teenagers, including a group of friends from nearby towns, had decided to experience the haunted castle together that evening. They were typical of the attraction's target demographic, young people seeking thrills and the social bonding that comes from shared scary experiences. The group purchased their tickets and joined the line outside the castle's entrance, joking nervously about what they might encounter inside. None of them could have imagined that this routine visit to a popular theme park attraction would end in tragedy. The building's design created several inherent safety hazards that would prove fatal. The maze-like layout included numerous dead ends and confusing pathways intended to disorient visitors as part of the entertainment experience. However, this same design made emergency evacuation extremely difficult, as there were very limited exit routes and no clear sight lines of safety. The building lacked a sprinkler system, smoke detection equipment, and adequate emergency lighting that would have been required in permanent structures housing public attractions. Shortly after 6:30 p.m., a small fire began in one of the foam-padded walls deep within the attraction.
How was
the
there
exact
a fire?
cause was never definitively determined, but investigators suspected that either an electrical malfunction or a discarded cigarette had ignited the highly combustible foam materials. Within minutes, the flames spread rapidly through the interconnected rooms and corridors, fed by the abundant flammable decorations and furniture throughout the structure. The building quickly filled with thick, toxic smoke that made visibility nearly impossible. Visitors inside the attraction initially thought the smoke and heat were part of the show.
And you're in a maze? Oh my gosh, and you're in a maze.
As special effects were commonly used to enhance the scary atmosphere.
And bro, these people probably, they think it's a part of the...
By the time people realized they were in genuine danger, the fire had spread extensively, blocking many of the limited exit routes. The maze-like interior, designed to confuse visitors under normal circumstances, became a death trap as panicked people tried desperately to find their way out through the smoke-filled corridors. The 8 teenagers became separated and lost in the burning maze. Despite the efforts of emergency responders who arrived quickly at the scene, all 8 young people died from smoke inhalation before they could be rescued. The victims ranged in age from 15 to 18 years old, their lives cut short by a preventable tragedy that exposed serious gaps in amusement park safety regulations. The investigation that followed revealed...
Yeah, this had to be like in the 1900s. There's no way. No way. Or maybe it was in like the early 2000s, but no way. Bro, I feel like now that would not happen.
Numerous
a random fire. No.
Safety violations and regulatory failures. The structure had been approved as a temporary building, but had operated for years without meeting permanent building codes. Criminal charges were filed against several park officials, and the incident led to comprehensive reforms in fire safety requirements for all amusement park attractions nationwide. The tragedy at the Haunted Castle became a turning point that fundamentally changed how the industry approaches safety in entertainment venues. Worlds of Funding.
That's going to be it for today's video, guys. I hope y'all enjoyed. We're going to be posting more videos here coming up. Hopefully again. I know I took a big break, but we're back. So stay tuned. I'll see you later. Peace out.